Hi. So today we are going to go over what makes you make decisions, what makes you decide certain things, and everything behind that, and what causes anxiety and confidence behind some of the actions that you take. So essentially, a very, very, very long time ago, you would be in a tribe, and people would go around trying to gather food, hunting animals, talking with people, everything, whatever it might be. And the way that our brains made a decision and still do make a decision is essentially, let's say there's a tree and there's bananas on the tree. So your brain would produce negative hormones or things that would cause you to stress out, things that would cause you to dislike it, based off of how high up the tree is, um, chance that you'll fall, how good of a climber you are, um, how many bananas are on top of the tree, all these different things. And then it will also produce happy hormones and neurotransmitters around, okay, well, like how many bananas are on top of the tree? How long can I eat for it? How easy it is. It kind of pits these two things together until one ends up on top. Now, what might happen if it isn't, a blowout, is it will come into your conscious mind and you'll have to think on it for a second. And you'll think, okay, well, do I really need to do this? Is this a good thing? And you kind of debate it for yourself. And that's why we might have certain questions of, okay, well, should I do this action? And it kind of falls into that category. Um, but other times it's just an innate thing. And one of the things that can affect this is sometimes we take certain things to make our perceived value of something a lot higher. So you might notice if you have a drink or something, you're a lot more confident because you're basically flooding your brain, you're flooding your body with all these happy hormones and neurotransmitters to make it so the consequences aren't really there. Uh, and sometimes that can be a great thing, you know. Other times, we might have certain situations in life or just the way that we're born where we have a higher perception of negativities. And what will generally happen is we'll perceive lower values for the things that we want to go and have, but for some reason our brains are just saying, hey, no, we don't really want that. Um, yeah. And it's for good reason, at least it used to be. So again, way, way back when we were in tribes and everything, there's actually things to be afraid of. A lot of things, It could be that a mountain lion or a bear is close to where you live. So you do have to exercise a lot of caution because a lot of things could kill you back then. And even today, a lot of things can kill you now. But it's just a lot less likely to kill you. You can have a really bad date. You can have a really bad job interview. You can have a really bad day. Chances are you're not going to die from it. Whereas you have a bad day hunting, 10,000, 20,000 years ago. Oh, you could die from that. It's a very stark, immediate reward or immediate, you know, penalty. Um, so yeah. So what some people will do is they will increase the amount of confidence they have through either perceived value. So that could be thinking up, okay, well, it's going to be really, really great when I get this one thing. So I should exercise all of my energy, all of my time into getting this one thing. And, it can be a persistent goal. It can be something that you're working on every day. But by inflating the perception of this goal to it being something super, super important, well, you're going to take a lot more risk at it. You're going to work a lot harder to get that one goal. But this can also be a double edged sword because, well, what happens if you fail? What happens if it's a complete inability to achieve this? well, you're going to be a lot more crushed. So having goalposts or goals that you want that are definable and attainable are really important. That's a very important thing to do. So it could be, I want to talk with 10 different people today. It could be, well, I want to work on X, Y, and Z. I want to do this today, blah, 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 whatever it might be, having it be attainable and not outcome dependent. Because, I mean, anything can happen in the world, you know? So, yeah, that's a, that's a pretty important thing. Another way to do it, I suppose you could have a drink, but I don't really recommend that. But it is something that you could do. Another thing that you could do is exercise more. So, one of the things about exercise is essentially you're growing the amount of neurotransmitters and hormones, happy hormones, that your body will create daily. So, you need to do about 45, 50 days every day for it to be a very good, constant baseline where you're producing a lot of dopamine, serotonin, oxytocin, all these different things. Um, and what will happen is once you start doing that, your body will get used to expending all of these happy hormones and neurotransmitters in order to achieve a goal. And it's also putting stress on yourself to get a certain goal. And that's going to cause a lot of, negative hormones because you're wearing your body out and everything. So it's a very easy way to basically grow your reserve, and it's one of the only ways to actually grow your reserve. You can't really do it through thinking, through attainment, through all these different actions by taking a substance, anything like that. You cannot do that. It just doesn't work. The only way to do it is by, or the main way to do it is by working out, and specifically endurance training. So going on very long runs helps a lot. Um, Lifting weights for a very long time. Um, it's not sporadic. It's not immediate muscle. So you have to do endurance, and that will increase the amount that you have. And even if you do drink, even if release it through other means, it's still going to help the amount that you have, and you'll just feel better when you do it. And who doesn't want to feel happier and better? So, yeah, that's a pretty easy way to increase confidence in what you're doing.